Hello, Aries, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of November 2nd through the 8th, and during that time, we'll have a waxing gibbous moon that moves us into the full moon and then a waning gibbous. So, the most important energy this week will be that full moon energy, a time of heightened emotions, a time where you can feel overwhelmed or anxious, maybe a little snappy and irritable. You might have changes in your sleeping patterns, or you might just be super, super energetic and get a lot done. That's usually what I do. I do have sleeping issues, but I just feel really great when the moon is full. So keep those moon energies in mind. If you need to practice patience and calm, it's a good time to put those things in action. So keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter, Aries. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading: prosperity lies ahead. Oh, what a great card. I'm not even sure I've ever pulled that out during a reading, so that's exciting. New for you, Aries. As I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you notice the world around you today when it comes to synchronicities. So this might be an animal that you see that you don't normally see. This could be repeating numbers or number patterns, maybe songs or conversations, things that you might overhear, but just try to pay extra special attention to those synchronicities. It's just the universe's way of offering you little breadcrumbs to guide you on your unique path. So I just like to put out a fun weekly reminder every week. All right, Aries, without further ado, let's get into this reading, November 2nd through the 8th. Prosperity lies ahead. Your present energy right now, look at you holding on to your stability with the Four of Pentacles. So prosperity lies ahead, but it looks like you're doing, you're holding your own right now. Are you holding a little too tightly here? This guy's got his feet down on these coins and we're holding on, but we've got money on the mind, right? So it's on your mind, but this is also a card of just being very stable, kind of like you are where you are and you're in a stable place. So that's always good. Your current situation right now is that you're feeling like you're getting a little bit of credit for some things that you've been accomplishing, a little bit of, this is a card of not just that you're being recognized, that you're recognizing it, but that there's other people around you too that may be giving you a little attaboy. This could be someone at work, maybe family members, that sort of thing, saying, hey, I see you and you're doing great right now. At the root of your situation is, you're kind of waiting for a harvest to come in. So maybe there's something that you've been working on. This could be some project that you've had going on at work, or a side project, or something that you've kind of planted those financial seeds and you're waiting for that thing to come in. This could be an investment that you're waiting to pay off. It could be, some job that you've worked on that you're waiting on, maybe a bonus or something extra to come in for you. But there's really nothing else you can do. You've done the work, you've planted those seeds. All you can do is kind of sit and wait for that to come to fruition. In your recent past is the Page of Wands. So this could be something that you're kind of newly, something that you're newly engaged with, but it's something that you're very passionate about, but it's something that you're kind of maybe, just learning the ropes on, or just starting to learn. This could be a new business that you're involved with, a new side of the business that you're involved with, to kind of, and it's something that you're like, oh, this is new. This is a new side of this company that I didn't know about, but I'm very excited about it. It's something that I can see myself getting behind and being very passionate about. So that's in your recent past, and maybe that is what's kind of bringing you, your overall message is prosperity lies ahead. So keep that hard work going and keep your eyes open to look around for those types of opportunities. What is on your mind this week is the Five of Wands. So a little bit of debate. And, this could, in the most extreme version, this is arguments. But I feel like in this situation, you have some community support with these other wands. I feel like this is just debate on maybe how things should be done. And it's on your mind. It's on your mind too, that these conversations that you're having, there's some back and forth, and, trying to get things settled and trying to, come to some sort of agreements with people. So, I always like to say my advice when it comes to debate like this is, of course, hold your own, but keep your ears open and make sure that you're also listening to the other points that people are making. Because, one of my favorite things, I love if you prove me wrong. If I've done my work and I feel like I really know the answer to something, but if someone has done their work also and can prove me wrong, I mean, I appreciate that. And hopefully you can appreciate that too. I know Aries, you guys tend to be very competitive. So make sure that you're taking time to listen to other people. What are the points that they're making, and listen to the reasoning behind them, and at least to have the time and the respect for those people to give them, to give those ideas some thought. So keep that in mind as you're moving through your week. What is just ahead of you this week is the Seven of Swords. Okay, so that's interesting. This is our card of cunning, craftiness. This could be theft or hidden agenda. So, and I see this card as, because it's sword energy, and if this person here represents you, I see it as maybe you've said a couple of things and you're holding back some information, and that's probably where that crafty, that cunning or craftiness. So it might be something, during this debate there might be something that you do need to hold back, and that is something that's ahead of you this week. So, and sometimes just in a situation, when it's business or certain things, you don't want to really show all your cards, right? You want to keep that poker face, and there might be something that you do want to hold back. So keep that in mind in your dealings that you're working with this week. In your advice position is the Page of Pentacles. So this, just like our Page of Wands is a new passion, your Page of Pentacles is new, like a new path in the financial or material realm. So this could be that you're considering, taking on a different kind of project, maybe moving around in your company, you may be getting a promotion, you may just be moving sideways, that you've decided that, hey, this department over here looks like something I would be really good at, and you're moving kind of into that, learning new things, debating things, how things should be done. That's really the feeling I'm getting here. But your advice is to go ahead and take that opportunity to do the new thing, to take this new material or financial path that might be put in front of you here. What is beyond your control this week? More pentacles. Look at you, just with all the pentacles. Beyond your control is some hard work. So, with this Eight of Pentacles, put your head down, get to work. Um, Work hard, or you're waiting on something to come in, but it looks like it's time to even start the new project, the new thing that's going to bring you the next pile of harvest, right? So, it's beyond your control. You're going to work hard this week. What is your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid, is the Ace of Swords. So, the Ace of Swords is about having an aha moment or a mental breakthrough. And is that your secret desire this week, or are you trying to avoid that? I would imagine that I can't imagine ever wanting to avoid having a mental breakthrough, or a really great idea. So I would say that hopefully this is your secret desire. And if that comes through this hard work, through this concentration, through all these things that are going on, it could come through this debate, through something that you're discussing with other people, but all of a sudden something happens and you've got this brand new idea. And again, it could lead to something new in the financial realm for you, which would be awesome. In your outcome position is the Ace of Cups. So I love this reading. I really do, Aries. So Ace of Cups is about just you having an open heart, and your heart being open, overflowing, and maybe that's overflowing with gratitude. And again, you're going to want to pay attention to what other people are saying, and that could be that if someone comes up with an idea and it's not your idea, definitely find a way to thank them. Let them know, hey, we're using your idea in this way or whatever. But you're going to have an open heart in all of these dealings that you're doing this week. It has a lot to do with finances and passion. I feel like are the main things that are going on. So it's nice that you're also doing this with an open heart, and that the cards didn't forget that, because the hearts or cups are appearing nowhere else in this reading. So nice that you're going to move through that with an open heart this week. What is hidden from you this week is the Ace of Pentacles. So that's a new financial opportunity. And I feel like because maybe you're working towards that, you're working towards this new financial opportunity with these things that are going on. I wouldn't be surprised to see this card in your reading for next week, that you've got a big new financial opportunity coming your way because of the things that are happening this week. So very interesting. Prosperity lies ahead. Keep that in mind, Aries, as you're moving through your week. Let's see what the Soul Oracle deck says. What does the Soul Oracle deck say here for Aries as they're working hard? I'm kind of dealing with other people this week, I feel like. Take a step back. All right. So, it could be taking this step back with the information. Like I said, sometimes you don't want to put all of your cards on the table. There's a reason that the poker face exists. So take a step back. But again, I think it's also about listening. You've got this stability going on. You're good. You're waiting on a harvest. You're working really hard at something. Take a step back and really just listen to what other people are saying also. When you're having debates and talking about ideas and things that things that need to change or come to fruition, make sure you're listening to other people again as well. I know it's a competition thing with you, but sometimes it is about being on a team and listening to other people and seeing what their opinions are. So, all right, self-care for Aries this week. What does Aries need to do in the way of self-care for this week? All right, the card that you get is happiness. And it says, your thinking will either make your happiness or take your happiness. You choose. Interesting. So, we talked about this Ace of Cups and how you are, even through all of your dealings, it looks like, you've got an open heart this week, which is really nice. And that's just, being grateful for what you have, for the people around you, for the people that help you get your job done, for the people that you're helping as well. So I feel like you have an open heart, and that's a really great attitude in which to have it. Again, I feel like next week we might see this Ace of Pentacles here, that's hidden from you this week, this new opportunity. I feel like next week that could probably come up for you, just according to what you have going on this week. So, Aries, thank you so much for being here with me today. I do hope there was something you can take away in this reading and use for your upcoming week. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below and let me know, is there some harvest that you're waiting on? Are you being recognized in your community for some things that you've been doing? Are you having some debates come up this week that are fun and friendly but productive also? And just remember again to keep an open heart, and that's going to, being grateful, being having that gratitude always brings more wealth, and it just attracts more good things to you if you're living that way. So I love that for you, Aries. Also, Aries, if you like my reading style, please hit that like and subscribe button. It'll really help me, and I do appreciate that. But more importantly, it'll help you find me next week, where you can come back and we can see if this Ace of Pentacles pops up for you next week and see where this story goes, or see if you have a completely different energy here next week. So thank you so much. Good luck with all of this, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.